Hi everybody, it's AJ here from Horizon Driving School, and I'd just like to give you a little presentation that I did to the IMTD the other night. It seemed to go down quite well, and it's all about inclusiveness in the driver training industry. So a little bit about myself. I'm ex-Army, I'm ex-RAC, I'm a HGV driver at the moment till my card runs out, and I'm also a driving instructor. Now the reason for this presentation is that I'd like to help other instructors create safer, more welcoming learning environments. Now my contact details are there. If you want to have a look at them and get in touch, please do. TikTok's on there. I try and put things up on there regular, as well as on the YouTube channel also. So, once upon a time, as I mentioned, I was in the Army and I was playing with straps, chains, and as a recovery mechanic, if it had wheels and got stuck, I was a knight in shining overalls who would swoop in and rescue. It could be tanks, trucks, or just the odd Land Rover, or even a motorbike that was in distress. Now, if it could be lifted, pushed, or my favourite, dragged, I was the go-to for this. Now, post-op Army, I was swapping tool belts for tech and became a computer engineer. But unfortunately, I say unfortunately, fortunately, the call of the open road was too strong. So I joined the civilian recovery company and hit the highways once more. And I've also driven HGVs all over the UK and clocked up quite a few miles. Then the RAC came knocking, offered me a job, and I couldn't resist, and I still to this day don't recall applying. However, I spent over a decade there with them as a roadside recovery specialist. This is when I decided that I wanted to come into the driving industry as an instructor, and this all happened just before and during COVID, and it was soon after then that my diary became so busy it was unbelievable, and it was a great choice. Now, this is the chapter also in life that let me blossom into my true self, and that's loud and proud as a trans woman. Now, through this also, I realised that something crucial. Many LGBTQ plus people have shied away from driving lessons, been scared of judgment, misgendering, ridicule, or even just feeling unsafe. So this presentation is to see if that we can help change that together. So as we all know, if instructors know, it's not just a job, it's a journey that we do drive together. So who is the LGBTQ plus community? So before we dive into how we can support LGBTQ plus learners, let's make sure that we know who we are talking about. I know we all probably know what LGBTQ plus stands for, and I don't want to teach anyone to suck eggs, but let's go over it properly just in case. Now, L is for lesbian, G is for gay, B is for bisexual, T is for transgender, Q is for queer or questioning, and plus is everyone else under that umbrella, such as non-binary, intersex, asexual, pansexual, gender fluid, etc. The list does go on for a little while, hence why we use the plus. Now, not everybody uses the same terms, and that's absolutely fine, because language evolves, and so do we. Now, let's also touch on pronouns at the moment. Now, these are more than just words. They're about identity and respect. Now, most people will use he, him, or she, her, but others will also use they, them, and some which I can't even pronounce. Now, it's not about what you think fits. It's about what the person tells you fits them. But if you're unsure, the best thing you can do is simply ask, what pronouns would you like me to use? And if you make a mistake, and we all do, the golden rule is, don't make it a big deal. Correct yourself, move on, and show that you're trying. It's effort, not perfection, that counts. What matters most is we never assume anyone's identity. We ask respectfully, we listen, and then we affirm them. So an example is, I had a 17-year-old who came out to me as a non-binary partway through the lessons. They were so nervous to tell me, but when they simply said, thanks for letting, when they told me, I simply said, thanks for letting me know, I'll update your name and pronouns, and they looked so relieved. They told me I was the first adult to ever respond that way. This is the community we are supporting. People who often face misunderstanding or invisibility, but who, just like anyone else, wants to feel safe and respected, and most of all, seen. So why is inclusion essential? Now, inclusion isn't just a feel-good concept for LGBTQ plus people. It can literally mean the difference between showing up and dropping out. Now, let me paint a picture. You're a trans learner and your instructor called you by your old name repeatedly. Or you're a gay man and your instructor makes comments like, "Don't worry, real men get it wrong also." Or even being non-binary and your test examiner gives you a weird look when you correct them politely. Would you come back for more lessons, or would you feel safe having to do another test? Now, for many LGBTQ plus learners, this is a daily reality. We've seen a sharp rise in anti-LGBTQ plus sentiment, especially anti-trans hate, fueled by what's known as the gender-critical movement. Now, a certain author who once created a magical world under their own name and now writes crime fiction has unfortunately become a loud voice in this space. Their money has funded legal challenges that has led to damaging decisions by the UK Supreme Court, decisions that have created real barriers for trans people. This isn't political, it's personal. It's about whether people like me and like many of your potential learners get to exist safely. Now, being trans isn't a choice, but being respectful is. Now, one of my learners, a trans man in his 20s, told me that he had cancelled with 3 previous instructors because of how he was treated. One asked, "So what are you then?" during the very first lesson. Another non-binary learner burst into tears after passing their test, not because of nerves, but because it was the first time they had been treated with dignity throughout the learning experience. So when you're inclusive, you're giving someone a gift. You're saying, "You belong here." So create an inclusive learning space, and this is by building trust in the car. So let's talk about how we make our car a learning environment, a place of safety, dignity and respect. Now, a learner once told me, "When I'm in your car, I don't have to pretend," and that stuck with me. Now, here's some simple ways to build an inclusive learning space. Now, do use inclusive language. Partner instead of boyfriend, girlfriend, wife or husband. Display small signs of support, such as a rainbow lanyard, a sticker, inclusive language on your website. And also offer learners the option to share their pronouns and name before the lesson starts. Also, modelling calm, kind behaviour, especially if someone is visibly anxious or upset. And also check in occasionally. Ask them if they're okay to carry on, or should we pause for a moment? Now, what we don't want to be doing is making jokes about gender, pronouns or appearance. Comment on somebody's voice, clothes or passing. Refer to them as being brave just for being themselves. Using gendered phrases, for example, "good lad," or "you drive like a bloke." Now, one learner said they chose me purely because my website, I mentioned I was LGBTQ plus friendly. That one sentence made them feel safe enough to click book now. Another learner told me they had instructors who had laughed at their makeup or said things like, "That's a bit bright for driving." They left those instructors and almost gave up completely. Now, we don't need to be experts in gender or sexuality. We just need to be respectful, curious, and willing to create space for somebody to be themselves. So talking with respect. Now, this is a big one because how we speak to our learners is just as important as to what we teach them. Now, let's be honest, we all get it wrong sometimes, but it's how we handle it that counts. So what should we do? Let's ask what your name and pronouns you'd like to use are right at the beginning. Make it easy for yourself and normalise it. Ask every student, not just the ones you think might be LGBTQ+. Apologise briefly if you get it wrong. Correct yourself and move on. Use neutral, non-gendered terms like learner or driver or just their name. And what not to do. Don't ask about someone's real name or birth gender. Don't share their identity with others without consent. Don't make jokes about their appearance, voice or relationships. And also, don't use identity as a teaching metaphor. For example, changing lanes is like changing gender. And yes, that has been said to one student. Now, one of my students said to me, "I love that you never make it a thing. You just get on." And we get on with the lesson. Another learner asked their instructor to stop them calling them mate. It was a habit of the instructor, and they hadn't realised it and made the other person feel uncomfortable. but they made an effort and they changed it. Now, if you do make a mistake, say something like, "Sorry, I meant," then use the correct name or pronoun, and then carry on. Now, if you struggle with pronouns, mention to them that you are going to try, but you're hoping that it's not going to go wrong. And if it does, you apologise and you don't over-apologise, and then there's no awkward tension. Now, learners notice effort more than perfection. So when we speak to people with respect and care, they learn better, they listen better, and they feel safe. So pronouns in the real world. Why do pronouns matter? Now, here's the thing about pronouns. In a normal one-to-one lesson, you might not actually use them at all. If it's just the two of you in the car, you're not constantly saying he or she. You're saying things like, "Take the next left. Great job. Let's try that again." But pronouns become important in other situations. They matter when you're teaching group sessions. For example, in the forces, or in corporate training courses, or if you've got several learners in the car at once, or a classroom, all at the same time. They matter when you're talking about a learner to another instructor. They matter in the test centre when you're chatting about candidates with examiners or colleagues. And they matter in written communication, emails, notes, and booking systems. So the easiest thing to do is ask once, right at the very start, "What name and pronouns would you like me to use?" Most people will answer without hesitation. Now, if somebody doesn't want to share, that's absolutely fine. Just use their name. Now, here's the important part. If you slip up, just correct yourself and move on. It really is that simple. No drama, no fuss, no spotlight on the mistake. Because constantly apologising really highlights that mistake. Now, pronouns aren't about being perfect. They're about showing respect, reducing anxiety, and helping your learners stay focused on the road, which at the end of the day is always a good idea. So just a quick example that happened to myself, and it involved my doctors. I would each time present as myself, that is Amanda, and they knew to use my preferred name. However, the screen that would flash up in the waiting area didn't know that, and it would constantly show my dead name, i.e. his name. I hated it, as it outed me every single time. Then I spoke to the doctors about this, and then they offered to change this for me, and seeing this for the first time, I was so happy I actually took a photo. Now, the impact of negativity. When it hurts, the cost of exclusion. So let's talk about what happens when we get it wrong, or when the learner faces negativity. Now, negativity can come in many forms. Microaggressions, "You don't look trans," or "You're too pretty to be a lesbian." Misgendering, or using somebody's old name. Jokes about gender or sexuality. Invalidation, "Oh, it's just a phase, you'll grow out of it." Silence, when people ignore their identity altogether. Now, these don't just make learners uncomfortable. They can cause real harm. Increased anxiety, especially when behind the wheel. Avoidance, by cancelling lessons or giving up entirely. A lack of trust in instructors or the process. Emotional shutdown during learning. I once had a young queer learner who'd been with two other instructors. Both of them told him, "You'll need to act straight for your test, just in case the examiner's old-fashioned." He was absolutely devastated. Not only was he now worried about the test, he was now worried about how he walked, talked, and breathed. By the time he came to me, he was so nervous he could barely turn right at a junction without second-guessing himself. A trans woman I taught didn't speak at all in her first lesson. Later, she told me that her last instructor had laughed when she'd asked to be called by her real name. Now, these are learners that we lose when we don't take inclusion seriously, not because they can't drive, but because the space around them wasn't safe. Negativity breeds shame, fear, and silence, and that's not what any of us are here for. So the power of inclusion. We've talked about the damage exclusion causes. Now let's focus on the other side. What happens when we get it right? Now, inclusion is powerful. It boosts confidence, creates trust, and builds momentum. Now imagine this. A young LGBTQ plus learner comes into your car, quiet and unsure. You call them by their name, you use the right pronouns, and if they want music on or off, and treat them like any other learner. By lesson 3, they're laughing. By lesson 5, they're navigating roundabouts with ease. And by their test day, they're walking tall. They are a different person to the one that first got into your car on day 1. That's inclusion. Now, one of my students said, "Amanda, driving has always terrified me, but being with you made me feel like I had permission to take up space and able to concentrate on my driving." Another learner, Josh, who is gay, neurodiverse and a little bit anxious, has told me this is the first time he's ever stuck with an instructor longer than 6 weeks. And it's because I feel so comfortable during lessons, he's up for test next week. Now, when people feel seen, they perform better. They ask more questions. They learn faster. And the best thing, inclusion, doesn't cost anything. But return on the investment is massive. You might just help someone get their license, or you might help them to reclaim a little bit of themselves. Either way, you've helped change a life. Now, inclusion doesn't just rest with us as individual instructors. It's also been embedded at government level. Now, here's what the DVSA and Department of Transport are doing to support LGBTQ plus inclusion. I did contact them and this is what they came back with. Now, mandatory civil service training. All DVSA colleagues, including driving examiners, must complete mandatory inclusion, equality and diversity training. This covers the civil service code and values, legalisation around diversity and a wider civil service diversity inclusion strategy. It's about serving all citizens fairly and respectfully. Internal support. DVSA supports LGBTQ plus colleagues through dedicated staff networks. And there's an active LGBTQ plus and allies network within the Department for Transport. Now, the Inclusion Action Plan. The DVSA has developed an Inclusion Action Plan. It focuses on removing barriers, ensuring fair recruitment, promoting inclusive training, and fostering a supportive workplace. Now, all of this matters because when our institutions model inclusion, it trickles down to learners. It says, this is who we are as a country. This is the kind of service we provide. So if you ever feel like you're the only one doing this work, know that you're not alone. Culture is changing, and we're part of that shift. And as instructors, we can go one step further by making sure that every learner feels that inclusion in their very first lesson. So thank you for listening to the presentation, and I just want to finish with this. Driving is about freedom. It's about independence, choice, and confidence. That freedom should be available to everyone. And as instructors, we are more than just teachers. We're role models, we're safe spaces, and we're sometimes the first adult somebody trusts with their real name, their real identity. Now, every time we get it right, every time we create a space for someone to show up fully as themselves, we aren't just teaching driving. We're building self-worth, possibly undoing years of damage. We're helping somebody move forward, literally and emotionally. So whether you're just starting out or have years under your belt, remember, respect matters, curiosity matters, and inclusion matters. And remember, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to care. So thank you for listening to the presentation. If you've got any questions, drop them in the box below and send them across to me, and I'll do my very best to answer them. Thank you so much.